So you think this is much more than just a temporary downturn for the global economy from which we bounce back and we carry on as we were before? You think a structural transformation will be underway, Lena? I guess we have no idea in which direction that structural transformation will take us, but a bigger role for the state, perhaps, is that a given?
I think it's definitely a given. I think if we look at the big picture here, I find it useful that the perspectives of the starting point of analysis, both in terms of the financial risk that we're looking at and the adequacy and the efficacy of the extraordinary policy response we've seen internationally so far, both of these are best informed by a comprehensive diagnosis of what sort of crisis we're in. I think for me this is the starting block of building a long-term investment strategy from this point. And what's become clear so far is that this coronavirus pandemic is not a black swan event. It no longer is. It's a bank of black swans. It's a constellation of extraordinary events that have opened up several lines of global systemic fragility. The exogenous shock of the international coronavirus pandemic, of course, and what it's done in terms of triggering a global recessionary productivity and demand shock currently in play, but also through the universal government measures of virus containment and the secular trends of deglobalization, interrupting supply chains, closing borders, disrupting global capital flows. And what's happened in the process is something much bigger than the pandemic, although the effect of government closures. It's destroying the dollar liquidity in a dollar-centric global financial system, which is now being plugged in by the Fed, which is why we are looking at a strong day yesterday and some positivity in the market this morning. But this is, in a major way, challenged the investor psychology of the past decade. The post-global financial crisis mentality of QE forever central bank hedge to risk valuations via subsidized liquidity and volatility repression. What it's also done, of course, is it's undermined the functioning of the financial system, as we've seen in recent weeks, the market's ability to price and warehouse risk. It stoked the fire over OPEC price war. It expanded, it exacerbated the old secular trends of the capacity destruction in the old economy industries that was visible in global manufacturing PMIs for the last 2 years. So what we are looking at here is a level of risk that will not disappear with the pandemic. This is no longer a bell-shaped pandemic curve economic shock. It's a long-term structural change.